helped me to reach 2,000 subscribers. The moment that still claws at my chest began with a sound so small it barely existed, a giggle behind me, a quick, sharp burst of amusement that sliced straight through the quiet hum of the office. I turned, already feeling the sting of humiliation before I even knew why. I had just asked, in the calmest voice I could manage, if anyone knew my husband Daniel's new office extension. My co-workers didn't just laugh. They exchanged glances. The kind of knowing, awkward glances people give when they're aware of a truth you're still blind to. A truth they wish you wouldn't ask about. I felt my face heat, a sick mix of confusion, irritation, and a rising dread. I was a woman who had been married for 17 years, who packed his lunches and washed his shirts, who knew the smell of his cologne on every pillow. And yet, in that moment, I felt like a stranger in my own life. "Why are you asking us?" one of them finally said, biting her lip as if the words tasted wrong. "Because he isn't picking up," I replied, fighting to keep my voice steady. Another coworker murmured, "Yeah, someone's definitely picking up." The office became unbearably loud. Phones ringing, chairs scraping, keys tapping, all of it blurring into a single, suffocating noise that made me want to flee. Someone was picking up, but it wasn't him. I forced a smile, thanked them, and returned to my desk, though my knees trembled so hard I practically fell into my seat. I stared at the screen, but I couldn't read, couldn't breathe. My pulse thudded in my ears as I replayed their looks, their hesitations, their pity. I dialed his number again. This time I heard it, a soft inhale on the other end. Not his voice, not his usual brisk tone, just a woman's breath, quick and close to the receiver, as if she was startled. I whispered, "Hello?" Click. Silence. The kind of silence that guts you. For a moment I convinced myself it could be anything. A misdial, a receptionist, a mistake. It was easier to cling to denial, to the fragile illusion that everything was still normal, that the man who kissed me every morning wasn't hiding someone else at work. But fear settled into my bones like ice. That night, when Daniel came home, he walked in with the same practiced warmth, the same familiar kiss on my forehead. But I noticed details I had ignored for months. The faint scent of a floral perfume not mine. The tired smile that looked more like guilt than exhaustion. His shirt wrinkled at the collar, as if someone's hands had slid too close. "Rough day?" he asked. I studied him. The subtle shift of his stance. The fleeting panic in his eyes when I didn't answer fast enough. The way he avoided putting his phone down. "Did anyone call you today?" I asked. His fingers tightened around his phone. "At work? Just the usual clients." That was the moment something cracked. Not fully broken. Not yet, but cracked enough for the truth to seep through. The next day, I left during lunch and drove to his office building. The lobby smelled faintly of lemons and cheap carpet cleaner. I rehearsed what I would say, trying to sound casual, rational, calm. But my heart punched at my ribcage with every step. His receptionist barely looked up when I approached. "I'm here to see Daniel," I said softly. Her eyes widened in sympathy, and it was then that I knew, truly knew. She picked up the phone and called upstairs. "She's here," she murmured. "Not your wife. Just she." When I entered his office, the air felt wrong. Thick, awkward, heavy with something unspoken. And there she was. Her hair was the first thing I noticed, loose curls I'd found on his jacket weeks ago and convinced myself were mine. She stood beside his desk, holding papers she clearly didn't need to be holding. Her smile froze when she saw me. Daniel looked like he had swallowed his tongue. I didn't scream. I didn't cry. I didn't accuse. "Who has been answering your calls?" I asked. He closed his eyes. His shoulders deflated, and she stepped back as if shrinking from the truth she had helped build. "I'm so sorry," he whispered. "I didn't mean for any of this." I laughed, not out of humor, but out of disbelief. "You didn't mean for what? For my co-workers to know before I did? For her to pick up your phone instead of you?" He didn't answer. He didn't have to. I walked out, not dramatically, not angrily, just exhausted. A woman who had spent years loving someone who had slowly slipped away while pretending to stay. Later that night, he showed up at home. He tried to apologize, tried to explain, tried to say it hadn't gone far. But every word only made the truth more real. He had chosen someone else in the spaces where I thought our marriage still lived. And yet, the strangest part was a guilt. Guilt that I hadn't noticed sooner. Guilt that I hadn't been enough. Guilt that I had believed so deeply in someone who no longer believed in me. But beneath the guilt, rising like a quiet flame, was something stronger. Clarity. I told him to pack a bag. I told him we needed space. I told him I deserved better than being the last to know. And for the first time in months, I slept without fear.